the product does not matter. I'm not interested in the product. It's all about the process. All right. Hey, Arrangers. Good job. I'm enjoying getting to hear your music, and I'm excited to hear more of your music. Your assignment for this week is now we are going to be writing lead sheets every day. So for this week, your assignment is to write lead sheets using AABA form. And we'll talk about what AABA form is again in a little bit. But the idea is your goal is to try to write one lead sheet per day. In reality, I expect you to do 4 or 5 lead sheets or partial lead sheets per week. So some of those might be more filled in than others. You know, don't spend a ton of time on each one. That's not that type of assignment. Just you know, if you don't have that much time, then just see how much you can knock out in the time you've got. A lot of times that can be a good strategy, is just saying, let's see how much I can get done in half an hour. And then a lot of times after 30 minutes go by, you find that you're really into something and it just flows. And if you've got more time, then you can let it flow. And if you don't, then, well, you got what you did done. So I expect 4 to 5 partial drafts of lead sheets per week. You're going to turn in 2 on Monday and save the others, though, for your final portfolio at the end of the term. And I will give you feedback on one of the 2 that you turn in. Yeah, the idea behind this is, do your best. And the product does not matter. I'm not interested in the product. It's all about the process. So it's like that Carol Dweck TED Talk. I'm thinking about effort and growth. And I know that if you continue at this, you will get where you want to go. Just do your best, and I will meet you wherever you're at. And we will work on making progress together. But this is what we're doing. So this is a great chance for you to be taking risks, and doing stuff that isn't comfortable for you. With the nice knowledge that nobody ever really has to hear it. It's just everything is an experiment. So your goal is to just get comfortable with writing all the time, and to get comfortable writing good music and get comfortable writing bad music, just writing music all the time. And again, most of the times you can't tell if something is good or bad until you've spent a long while with it. And a lot of times the difference between what makes an idea work and not work is a little thing that just comes over time. We're working to turn off that judgment and just allow ourselves to create freely. And it sounds easy. It's harder than it sounds to turn off that judgment, and to not think about the product. Just think about the process. Another real goal for us for this class is to hear where the music wants to go. So we're wanting to so we're not pushing the music around, but we're hearing we're letting the music lead us, and that it feels organic. And along those lines, what we're wanting is to be developing the skill of hearing music in our head. That's not to say that all music has to be composed from within our inner ear, and that we hear everything start to finish inside our head. Um, but that is a skill you do want to develop. And so I'm going to really suggest that in general, for your default setting for writing music for this class, it is, singing into a tape recorder, and not singing along with other things. Don't sing along with your piano playing or your guitar playing, or with a rhythm track, or with anything. Just try singing with only your head, and that's gonna develop skills. And like I said, this class, I don't care about the product. I care about developing the skills. And of course, if you are inspired to try something, go for it. I'm not saying that you can only do something one way, but I'm saying make for this class the way you generally approach it. Make it, singing into a tape recorder, hearing what's in your head. One other thought I want to pass on to you all is to think about what you want your music to say. I know a lot of people feel like, oh, I first need to learn to write music and arrange, and then once I know how to do all the things, then I can start thinking about what I want to say. And I just want to tell you, it doesn't really happen in that order. Usually, the way it goes is you have sort of an idea of what you want your music to say, and then you work through study and practice, and you know just doing it over again, to make music that does eventually say what it is you want. So don't feel like you're not in a place where you can be thinking big things and be making big ambitious goals for your music. You can be ambitious with it, and eventually, it's like Ira Glass said, you will narrow that gap to where the quality of your music is actually in line with your ambitions. Okay, so for this week, you'll be writing songs using AABA form. And, with all this stuff, like I was saying, you want to hear where the music wants to go. And if it really is, you can tell it's not wanting to go to an AABA, let's say it's only wanting to do something else, always go with where the music wants to go. Don't push the music around. So go with where the music wants to go. But I want you to start out with the intention of creating music that is AABA form. So AABA is one of the most kind of standard song forms in traditional American popular song form. So a tune that comes to mind is "I Got Rhythm," or just any rhythm changes. So rhythm changes is a 32 bar form, and it's an 8 bar A section and an 8 bar B section. So it goes A, A, B, A. And the B section is sometimes called the bridge. It's usually the contrasting section, though not always. Thelonious Monk said about bridges that their job is to make the A section sound good. So, and it's good to know most songs, even though they're AABA, most AABA songs don't actually have 3 identical A sections. Some do. If you think about like Horace Silver's Sister Sadie, I think that's got 3 A sections that are all the same. But a lot of tunes that we think of as being AABA, actually all 3 A sections are a little different. And if you think about that's gonna help allow your song to grow. Um, so certainly for your rough drafts, you might be thinking just the same A section for all the sections, but you might want to think about how you can make them grow. So if you were to take a tune like, let's take Cole Porter, what is this thing called Love? If you go to a jam session, you might hear someone play all the A sections the same, but all three A sections are actually different in it. It's the first A section is. Here's the second A. Now here's the bridge. Here's the last A. Right, so all three A sections are different in that song, and that's a 32 bar tune. Even I Got Rhythm, the A sections are all a little different. Particularly the last, I Got Rhythm is actually a 34 bar song. So the first couple A sections are I got rhythm, I got music, I got my girl who could ask for anything more. Right, but the last A section is who could ask for anything more? Who could ask for anything more? So it's got the extra 2 bar tag. Just a little thing like that can add a little bit of a sense of growth to the song form. Then you've got other standard tunes that not all A sections have to be 8 bars. So take like Alone Together. The first 2 A sections are 14 bars, I believe. I think they're 14 bars. And then the last A, and then the bridge is 8 bars, and the last A is 8 bars. So, that would be a good song to go check out, Anyway, I'll let you check out some recordings of that song. But what else? All the Things You Are is another tune that stands out. I think of that as being an AABA form. But the A sections are even, the first A and second A are in 2 different keys. The first A, right, and then it goes down a fourth. Right, then we've got the bridge. In the same key as the first A, but then it has an extension. Another tune kind of like that. So All the Things You Are is Jerome Kern. My Funny Valentine is Richard Rodgers. I think of that as being an AABA tune. It's not really, though. Exactly, or each A is different. The first A starts on the tonic in C minor. The second A starts on scale degree 3 in C minor. the last A starts on tonic, but then it goes to starting on scale degree 3. Then it jumps up. And then it ends in E flat major. Right, so you can have a lot of fun within that AABA form. We're all about expectation and surprise. That's what to me all art is about, balancing expectation with surprise. So one of the great things about traditional song forms is they've got all kinds of built-in expectation. So they're going to keep everything really grounded in a way that leaves you room to really surprise the listener. If everything is expectation, it's really boring. But if everything is surprise, that's also really boring. If everything's a surprise, then nothing's a surprise. So, at least after a couple minutes. so, we're all about balancing expectation and surprise. One other thing you probably noticed in My Funny Valentine is the idea of climax, and that's something to think about. How to put climax in your song that's going to give it shape and drama. A climax is usually the most intense moment of a song. Some songs can have two climaxes, and sometimes it's up to you leave some room for interpretation. My Funny Valentine can be done with climaxes in a couple different spots, and sometimes people do two, sometimes people choose one over another, sometimes people will choose to get quiet in one and loud in another. So there's lots of room for interpretation, but it's usually an intense or important moment of a song. It's often, almost always, it's like the highest note in a song. And it can really do a lot. Another, looking to some more contemporary jazz. If we look at like Herbie Hancock's Maiden Voyage, that's a song that it's a 32 bar AABA form, and it has a very distinct climax on the bridge, and the song just doesn't. It's really boring if the band doesn't build to that climax. I have a recording of band doing it without that climax, and I find it pretty boring. But you listen to Herbie and Tony Williams, and that whole band, and the band on the bridge. It's a really big, really nice crescendo, and then decrescendo for the last A, and it adds a lot of shape to the song. Another thing is, again, not all songs have to be 8-bar A sections. A great example that comes to mind is John Coltrane's Naima, which has a 4-bar A section. Right, so that's a pretty short A section, but it's an AABA. It's 4-bar A section and 8-bar bridge. So that's sort of nice too. It makes, the bridge, because the bridge is twice as long as the A section, I think it makes that bridge feel that much more epic, and the climax happens at the end of the bridge on that. The end of the bridge is the most common time for a climax, and sometimes you'll have a climax at the end of the bridge, and then one on the last A. it's almost always, it's going to be towards the end of the form that the climax happens. And, you can have, if you're doing the song multiple times through, the performer might get more climactic sometimes than others. Anyway, so you get to have fun with this. Write some AABA songs, try different stuff out, and I look forward to hearing what you're doing. Please feel free and ask me questions throughout the week, and I'll can't wait to hear what you do. Have a good one.